Oh, we don't get Mr. Red Rose anymore, Sam.
We don't have that.
Guys, welcome to the Roses Are Red podcast. Miss Red Rose can't be here tonight. I am Dave. I'm sitting in for Miss Red Rose on an important show that we're going to do tonight. Normally, we do all sorts of true crime and cocktails. We talk about things that we've seen on television, things that we can watch and all comment on together. We can pick sides of different things. Guys, tonight is going to be a lot different show. It will probably be the most important show that we've ever done, because we're not going to do a show about things that we've all seen on YouTube or on Netflix or anything like that. We're going to talk about something that has happened personally to someone personally, and that we can we're going to try to, if we can, try to make sense of it. But this past week has been a difficult week for everybody, but one person in particular here on the show. But one of the friends of the show, not only a friend of the show, AC's best friend for years, was shot and killed this past Tuesday morning, I believe. And there's
what the fuck?
It's something that we're going to talk about tonight, and it's important that we do. If you do follow the show, please chime in. Let us know you're here. Let us know that you support us. We can't promise we're going to do a whole show. We might get through parts of this and just not be able to talk anymore. And
down to go for 3 hours.
And then again, it might go all night. But we're so happy that you're here. As Red Rose couldn't be here tonight, she's got other obligations. But I would like to welcome myself, because I'm new. No, I'm not new. You guys have seen me before. And of course, way on the left there, my beautiful, lovely wife, Sam I Am, from the Married Couple podcast, the other half of this, and of course from Midnight Media, AC. AC is going to take a lot of this story and talk about what happened. We're going to try to, if possible, make sense of anything we can. But welcome into the show for everybody who's here, and welcome AC, welcome Sam I Am, and thanks for having me and letting me join and try to help make sense of what this horrible thing that happened. With that, AC, Sam.
What do you want me to say?
Well, we need to tell a little bit of the situation.
I don't know. We can just we can speak normally. Sam, do you have any thoughts on this? You know. Before I asked Dave, you knew Brandon, right?
Yeah. I'm sick over it. There was a pit in my stomach the minute you told me. When I told Dave, he called me immediately. It's just been something we've been trying to wrap our brains around this whole week. I'm sure it's worse for you, being so close to him, but I'm honored to have known him and met him and been able to speak with him. Yes. And
there he is.
Yeah. So, it's just mind-boggling that it even happened.
For anybody who wants to know the specifics, now that giving it a little time for people to get in here, our friend and AC's best friend for years, there on the screen there, Brandon Durham, was shot and killed in his own home after calling the police because of a home invasion. He called the police. The police showed up. We'll get into this more of the specifics of it, but the end result was he was shot and lost his life.
This is a movie that I'm living, and this is not real. None of you people are real, and that guy's not dead because a police officer decided to not be a police officer. I'm so hoarse from having every emotion possible running through my body at the same time for a couple of days now, and that's like an emotion fatigue, where it's like a numbness, but it's very heightened sensitivity. When you're really numb and it almost hurts. That's what it is, and it's like really hard because people are going to think like, just a guy in Vegas, right? Like it's a guy that who cares? Like life is, you have so many people in your life. No, I've known Brandon for 25 years. I've known Brandon since he was a child, basically, when we just met in culinary school, Johnson, Wales, Providence, Rhode Island. He was a kid from Hetman, California. And we bonded over the fact that we were from hot places. And, he told me how there were Mormons and Scientologists there. And I told him about Miami, and who would have thought many years later, not many, but a few years later, he'd come down to Miami several times throughout our college career. And not only did we bond really quickly in college, we were fast roommates, we were best of friends. So I want people to understand the depth of our relationship, because it spans, almost 3 decades, and a lot of time invested in this. And I feel robbed, but I digress. We finished college, and I went back to Miami, went back to, Las Vegas, and he started his life here as a chef. I was a chef in Miami for about 17 years. We never lost contact. In fact, his Cuban wife, as everybody knows, I'm Cuban. His Cuban wife, Eileen, wanted to come back. They had a daughter, Isabella, and Bella. We'll talk about Bella in a moment. And so he went to West Palm Beach. I visited him in West Palm Beach. We saw each other there. I visited several times, many times. But the point is, we always played Xbox together, so that always linked us, no matter where we lived. But really, he came to my state, and then just luck would have it, my brother and sister-in-law, live in Las Vegas, and they invited us up there and said, "Why don't you check it out?" And I could see myself here. It made sense on several levels, and he was one of the reasons it made sense, because I was like, big dog, we're gonna be in the same city. He's like, oh my God, he always had a catchphrase. He always had something, something to, like, he was so, I'm sorry, I'm not my usual, like,
You're fine.
he had his own, like language, and I knew it. And
He's your best friend in the world.
So yeah. So when I moved here, it was like, my God, we were together all the time. We were together for football. He taught me how to bet on football. We were together every weekend because he just wanted to make his man cave. He couldn't wait. And when he bought his house, he made his man cave, and he actually did it. I've even called Sam and Dave from there. Like, like that's where I spend football. And they've seen, like, his, I took my brother-in-law Caesar. I took so many people.
I wore purple tonight just for him. I really did.
Minnesota Vikings fan. And you always, get your purple on. So one of so many catchphrases, and the only person to call me by my last name, Casio. Everybody, AC or Adrian, but he was a Casio. And I'll never. Hear his language again, and it sucks, and it's kind of robbed from you when you invest that much time and you see children grow, and like an uncle that is always there, like, so many things were shattered in one night. It was not just Brandon. So many things were shattered. He's a family man. He loved his family. He was respectful. My mother, when he moved, when we moved to Las Vegas, I was busy working at Tesla, and she came, and she really wanted to find a house. Brandon is a real estate agent. That has to be, pass several rigorous exams to be, who is he a thug real estate agent or whatever the narrative is? No. But he picked up my mom. He took her to look at houses. Like, he didn't have to do these things. Several of my family members rented, through his company, and that's how we know Steve, right? Steve is another friend of ours. We all play video games together. On top of all of this interconnection, then at night we play video games together, so even more in my ear. And I'll never, ever, ever hear his weird laugh, or or when he beat the shit out of you at Mortal Kombat, and you want to reach the Xbox and hit him because he's so fucking good. But like, it's not fair. It's the fact that it was. I didn't have a say in it. No one had a say in it. And then what? It shatters families like this. What was this man doing? I'm not going to litigate right now, at least. I don't know. I might go scorched earth tonight. But I'm physically, emotionally tired. Like, there's only a couple of people in your life that you know that long, other than family members, right?
Right.
People that you choose above that, people that you choose around that long. These are your people. And he's good people. He was good people.
We're here for you, brother.
We are. Family that you choose sometimes, or a lot of times, means more than your blood. So
sometimes, my brother, speaking of which, my brother calls me devastated. He's like, what is this shit? My sister-in-law, Samantha, what is this shit? What's going on? He touched everybody. He's been to several parties with my whole family, and we knew each other, and everyone loved him. He was jovial, and he had people captivated by stories. And then, like, he's so smart at football and numbers. And I don't know, I want to lay this all out, because who knows? I just need there to be the right narrative out there, and at least a record on the internet. But this shit hit really close. Like, are you kidding me? My friend's on the internet, and it's like, I'm sure it's gonna end up somewhere on Telegram or X, and it's just gonna be like, people are telling me already, like, it's shoved in my face. It's like, I can't get over it. Are you doing that? I haven't even looked at the comments. Are you doing that?
yeah, I've been doing that.
Okay.
I got you.
Cool. I'm not even looking.
Allie said, "You got this, babe."
Yeah. So, that's all. There's so much more, but that's his character. Like, that's who he was. He was so generous, and he would do anything for you. So that's why I really have to, and I'm in denial. I'm in total denial. I know I am. I've had a hard week.
Yeah.
It's okay to have it be hard. I mean,
so, I'm in denial because, I had to talk to him for, I don't know, about a week and a half or so. And I feel that's, one of my huge mistakes in life now is that I didn't do that. I was busy. But mind you, I just got a big job that I really wanted. And just earlier this week, I was doing a few assessments, and this is not about me, but just to put in perspective, I just got this big job, and it's like a Fortune 500 company, and like, I'm really excited about it. And then this happens. I mean, there are a couple of things that, you can take at once, but my gosh, 3 or 4 things at once. How strong are people? How resilient is someone that keeps getting punched in the gut? Oh, that's my sister-in-law. Can you read that, please?
absolutely. It says, "We love you, brother. I'm so sorry. We're all here for you. Don't forget how much love and support you have around you. I wish this wasn't the narrative. Brandon did not deserve this."
Dogs don't deserve what happened.
No.
At least dogs are taking behind the shed. And at least dogs are not the homeowner. I've never seen a dog get shot in their own doghouse.
No.
There's no law in the world, and there's let's ask the question: what law is there where law enforcement can come into your home and the it's a probable cause got him in the house, right? Tussling, hearing the tussling. Is there a law that allows them to just come in and kill the homeowner?
No.
Okay, Dave, have you heard of one?
No, there isn't. When you had called and told Sam, and then Sam sent me a message at work that this had happened, and of course I was stunned and in denial and disbelief, and I had to look it up. And there wasn't a whole lot of information at first as far as what was being reported about it or on the news. I couldn't really find much of anything. It's just that there was somebody was trying to break into his house, and then the cops got there, and they had said something about they had heard gunshots before that, and the initial reports.
Not true.
Correct.
Agreed.
In the initial reports, that's what they were reporting. They reported that some cars had windows smashed. His house was broken into, and that when the cops got there, they kicked in the door. There was and as far as what was initially reported, that two people were in an argument, and one had a knife, which also isn't exactly the case. We'll go over some of these specifics if we can get to them, if we can get through them.
I'm going to get to no, because I can't. What I'm really in denial about is not talking about it. So,
but
I can't watch the thing. I can't watch that. But I will talk about it. I'll do the specifics, of course. Of course.
But it wasn't until today when the body cam footage was released, and even though, I apologize. Yesterday it was released. Today I saw it. Yeah, because you had said that you had watched it. You had said, Sam, don't watch it. I, of course, had to, because I'm just that way. I watched it, and I guess it just infuriated me, because what was initially told wasn't the case. I don't understand how something like this could happen.
It was an execution.
Absolutely, it was.
The officer's name was Alexander Bookman. He's 26 years old. He's been on the force just for a couple of years. He came onto the force in 2021. He kicked down the door and entered the home because he had heard shouting voices, something like that. He had his Glock 17 9mm pulled. As he walked, he turned the corner into a hallway. He saw a struggle between Brandon and the intruder. He said the words, there was, and I know that the family said they didn't see a knife. I looked and I freeze framed, and there was a tussle. The two people were involved.
Yeah.
Let me just say it this way. The intruder was being held up against the wall or against the doorway, and Brandon's hands were like this. And what it looks like is that the intruder and the person that he is calling the cops, even as they're entering, he's saying, help, help.
They're over here. They're over here. He's calling
over here. He's calling over here, telling where they are. And
right.
He's got the person against the wall, and both of his hands are on the arm. And if there is a knife, if it's what it is, and the intruder was the one holding it, and the police officer or Officer Bookman, Alexander Bookman, again is his name, said the words, drop the knife, and in not even time to even say anything after or get a response or anything, fired his gun once to begin with.
A fucking nanosecond.
He
said, help me. He said, help.
He was saying, Brandon was saying, help me, help me. Officer Bookman said, drop the knife, and then shot that quick. But not only did he shoot, the aim was enough that He shot him. He shot him in the head, and then proceeded to run down the hall. And while Brandon's body was on the floor, shot him five more
times, and then hovered over his body and said, "Don't move, don't move." Who the fuck are you kidding? Just shot my friend in the fucking head, and he fell down dead. And you shoot him. What? First of all, have you ever brought a knife to a gunfight? Isn't that a fucking saying?
It is.
If he has a knife, do you think he also has a fucking gun? Okay. And number two, he's in his fucking boxers. Whose house is that?
Right.
Whose house is that?
It's not like he looked like the perpetrator.
Correct.
And if the guy probably that looks like he was in bed.
Called the fucking cops. You called the fucking cops. You called the fucking cops, and you have the cops come to your house and say, "Hey, I'm over here." They come in, guns drawn already. No question, this is going to be some kind of a violent thing. I mean, have them at your holster. My God, just point it down for the love of Jesus. Why are you're not clearing a fucking room in Afghanistan? Like, this is not what it's for. Like, so, and then it took 27 seconds. It was 27 seconds of what do you think he was going to do? Even if he lunged at you, he's 8 feet away from you. And I'm talking to you, Alexander Bookman. Right. He lunged at you. What? I mean, could you had still had two feet to blow his brains out if you wanted. And I would have said, you know what, you might be justified in doing that. You might be. I don't know. At that point, I have to look at the law. But look, Alejandra Boudreaux was Boudreaux was the intruder. Exactly right. Boudreaux was the intruder. So when Boudreaux came in, and apparently there was a smashed windows and both cars were smashed, and I get it. You know, it triggered your fucking PTSD or whatever, and you thought you were back in the fucking hole, and you went in fucking guns drawn. No, dude. Are you kidding me? You ended fucking people's lives that day. Like a lot of people. Isabella doesn't have a dad anymore. He was the best dad in the world. Last year in December, we went to a quinceañera, which is like her sweet 16. It was awesome. He spent like mad money just to make sure his girl had a really awesome send-off to become a woman. Now what?
Sweetheart, can you bring up the picture of just the hands?
Yes.
It's sent to you.
Yep.
That smile. You spoke with passion, dude. You know?
I remember meeting him, and
all right,
here's a picture, and we basically just zoomed in on this is what the police actually showed. They showed the whole thing. I zoomed in on the hands because that is all that we needed to see.
Right.
And if that is a knife right there, you'll notice that both of Brandon's hands are on the arm of the person holding, if that's a knife. Could be a ballpoint pen. I can't see it from this angle, whatever.
I'll say it's a knife.
Apparently after the fact, yep, you can tell it's a knife, and you can't really tell from there. But here's what I can tell. Both of Brandon's hands are on the arm holding the knife.
That's right.
And the person that was mortally wounded was obviously the homeowner.
The homeowner.
And the person trying to keep from being stabbed in that picture right there.
I cannot stress enough. If we glazed over this at all. The homeowner, the man who bought the house and has been fixing it up and was so proud of his new jacuzzi and was so proud of his family. He called the cops for the cops to help him in his own house. Okay. And the cops come and kill you, the homeowner, the guy in the boxers. The guy who looks like he just got up from bed. And the person he's fighting off is somebody in a red hoodie. Everybody hangs out in a red hoodie at home.
Sure.
And then and it was holding away the knife, not doing anything aggressive, and trying to protect his daughter who's in that room right behind the cop. So when Bookman came in and he pointed the gun, Isabella's door is right behind. There's a bathroom in the door. So she was in there. how could we have avoided this? Well, you know what? Fuck this. Let's for later, right? Let's see what so Copilot. Let's see what so it's already on AI. It's amazing. Let's see, and then let's open up that link. I never thought that I would be like the friend of like a murdered, like a the person like a murdered person. And this is not just and it doesn't I can't stress enough how much more than friends we were. It was transcendental, you know what I mean? Like people throw the word like loosely around, it's not. We were much more than we're brothers, along with my brother. In the waiting room. Oh, awesome. Okay, Steve. Okay, got you, buddy. So Steve is here. He's going to start talking about the thing. But enough about our. Obviously, we were the best of friends, and so was Steve.
Danielle said Metro failed us. Metro needs to be held accountable. His daughter deserves justice. I'm thankful, brother, for you to have brought this man into our lives. I'm honored to have met him myself.
He was such a good. He's just an amazing dude.
Yeah.
I mean, either that or he has hundreds of people fooled.
I doubt
No,
Like,
he was an
and
amazing.
he doesn't really own
fucking-
that house that I went to 100 times.
He's an amazing dude who knows way too much about what the coaches do on every single team
It was
of the
incredible.
NFL.
It was incredible.
His brain was incredible. It was funny.
Scott's in the waiting room. Where's the waiting room?
Okay, hold on. I see
There's Steve.
Steve.
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't.
Oh, Steve is here. Okay, good.
But I just put him up to there, but it looks like it's.
I'm sorry, Steve. I went a little long there, buddy. My apologies.
Looks like
It looks
Go
like he's buffering a bit.
he's buffering, like maybe his internet.
You get on some Wi-Fi, buddy.
We'll just leave it there for a minute and go. But
Yeah.
I
see
will
if we can
say
get
I
it to work.
did reach out to the Las Vegas Police Department today to see if they had a comment. They do not. In fact, they I assume that they're probably getting a lot of calls. Hopefully. And I encourage everyone to call them and ask them what the fuck. How could this happen?
I'm beside myself. I've seen him in. I mean, is it already okay? Where does it say you then? How many people can we have on here? Steve is here.
Okay, I see Steve, but I don't see him. I can't.
I don't see
any-
Scott. We're looking for Scott.
Okay.
You
No
see
idea.
us on the bottom, Scott? You see us?
If you can, maybe take down your screen to present. Maybe that. I don't
Maybe
know.
that's it. Maybe that's it.
But I don't
So
see.
it's Steve. Steve is there.
I see Steve, but
At the stage.
Guys, live show. Here's how
I
you
mean,
know
this
it.
is what
This happens.
happens.
I'm just live streaming. There's not anything to say in the show. Fuck that. I just need I need to tell his story before people twist and mangle whatever the truth is. I'm going to explain exactly from my perspective what we saw the morning of, and I'll tell you exactly what, because it was already smeared. It was fucking completely smeared. And Steve is going to go. Steve, okay, Scott. Steve is going to go into detail because he went to the coroner's office. He spoke to the police. He got the perspective of them talking to them and what the assailant got for charges, which is obvious. Oh, I just hit something. Oh, God.
It's okay.
So he knows it all. Steve is Steve.
So maybe he needs to go out and come back in or
Steve,
something.
can you go out and come back in, Steve? Or refresh your page. It looks like your page needs to be refreshed because he's not seeing our podcast.
And
And
is
then-
there somebody else other than Steve? You said Scott. Who's Scott?
Scott is our very good friend, my friend from Miami. We've known him
Okay.
a little bit less, maybe 20 years.
And is it possible that it's only 4 that can be up?
I don't think so.
I don't
Or is
think
it-
so.
okay.
I don't think so at all. No,
You guys aren't seeing Scott down there, or
No, not at all.
okay.
it won't let me in. Steve. Okay, so Steve says it won't let me in. Thank you. Now we'll breathe. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Breathe. Don't forget. You're backstage again. Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know how he's backstage.
How are you backstage? I don't see you. Where we see? How's that possible? And you're hitting the last link that I sent you, Scott?
Yeah, do the
I think both
very
people have an issue. That's weird. Okay, so
maybe resend.
yeah. Backstage. I don't see you. You gotta be shitting me. It says backstage. This is backstage. Oh, no. You're using the wrong one because remember I did a record only first.
Yeah, do you want to resend the one?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Thanks.
Copy and then Telegram. So I don't know. Do you have the story in front of you? You can read the story while I do this, I guess. If you want.
Okay. So the story that I have here is the family reacts to the video that the police officer shooting Brandon. The article says here that the family of the man of Brandon, who was shot and killed by Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department officer, after calling 911 during a home invasion, said they are now looking for answers and accountability. So on Tuesday, November 12th, just before 1 a.m., Brandon Durham, 43 years old, called 911 to report that two people were attempting to enter his home on the 6900 block of Wine River Drive from both the front and the back. He told 911 he was inside the home with his 15-year-old daughter. He said he was locking himself in the bathroom as suspects entered the home. The arriving officers, including Officer Alexander Bookman, 26, said they found damage done to several vehicles outside the home. Bookman and other officers heard banding and screaming from inside the home. Entering the.
This is crazy.
You know.
Oh, okay. Scott's in. I'm sorry.
I see Scott. Okay.
Give me 1 second, and I have Steve here.
Okay. Do you want me to bring him to stage?
Yeah. I mean, bring up Scott. That way he can. Yeah, but you can finish the story. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We're figuring things out. Hello, Scott.
Hey guys. Nice
Hello.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry, it's not under better circumstances.
Agreed. Agreed.
So let's do. Okay.
Glad we got your link correct.
Yeah, try to get because you're supposed to. You're gonna see us all on the bottom, right? And then you're gonna see us next to it, and then we can just bring you up from that. You got it.
So we're figuring this stuff out.
Yeah. I mean,
we got him. Kind of. No.
There's Steve. Good job. All right, cool.
Well, I see that, but that was what was happening before, where I didn't see him.
That's true. We see you, Steve, if you can see us, but we don't see your pic.
There he is. I see him. He's coming in.
Doing a video?
There's a circle. There's a circle moving around.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Let's see here. Maybe he needs to add permissions on his phone to have video.
Doing it from it looks like a laptop he's doing it from. Send me a picture.
Or on the laptop.
Do you have a camera? Do you have a camera, Steve? But how come it's not letting you, dude? What the fuck?
It might be the laptop permissions.
I'll tell you what. Stay like this. Let's do this. We'll have you on audio. I got the cord for that. I got you. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. This is I got you.
All right, we got this.
No. I'm apologizing to him. He's got a few minutes, but he's got a long story. Of course, I understand. Check it out. You are now going to be on. We just can't see you, but you can just talk right here. How's that, Steve? You can hear us?
I can't hear him.
Okay. How about now, Steve? Steve, you hear us? Steve, no. Steve. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, Steve, can you hear me? Hello, you there? I can hear you now. Yes. All right. Cool. All right. Cool.
All right, yeah, I got a little bit, like I said, that we ended up all coming over here, trying different chains of thought. Everybody's not being so pissed. And, I just felt like the family could be together. And so everybody's over here about to watch the Tyson fight.
Of course.
So yeah. So we just had some fight. I just told Chris has been coming, cousin Craig is here, was going to come in and wanted to say something if you guys want to talk to him or whatever. So.
What I'd like to do is, since the video is kind of messed up, I don't know, for whatever reason, you're not able to like log on. We see you, but it's not, we can't see or hear you. So what we'll do is we'll set up something that way we can actually do this, and you can see it.
I'd rather do it. I'd rather set something. Nothing's going to change in the next podcast.
Of course, yeah. No, so yeah, next Friday if you want to.
There's a lot to be said. Just to give you a quick one, we changed the narrative. That was the goal of the family and us. We wanted to change it from him willing nights around. So, and we couldn't really do that until we saw the video. Once we saw the video, and it was that it would be, we then held a press conference, and it just happened to be right after they had theirs. Well, we knew they were having theirs, but because that, we were able to, talk about it, call the media. We were talking to media because I've been talking to them for a while, and then I had them call them. And we set up a media date, and we were able to change the narrative to the public thing. Now we got attorneys coming in all over. Everybody sees it's bad. So that was the first goal, was to change the narrative. And now next time we talk on the podcast, I would love to talk about.
Okay, we'll do it in long form. For sure. Thank you, Steve. Yeah. Because there's so many things and twists and turns that we have to explore. Because in the beginning, I'm going to give my perspective as to what happened when I woke up in the morning and I saw. This commotion, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" There goes Vegas again. And
well, we can definitely talk about how, from an eye view of somebody that's went through it, of how the cops changed the narrative so bad. Absolutely. To make it look and how they act, and I'll be happy to talk about that.
Good, yeah, it's bad timing.
Because we went through there and do that. So. But, like I said, we are going, just to give you guys some say, we did talk to a lot of ABC News Nightly Talk. We did an interview today. Mm-hmm. All of the cameras.
How did that go?
With Bella. Good. Went really well. They couldn't get it on tonight. They tried. This should go on in the morning. So at least that'll be a nationwide. And we're feeling once that happens, it's going to go crazy, we hope. I mean, you just see it. I mean, how can anybody look and think that's just not awful? I mean, come on. Guy looked scared to death. My friend was scared. You could see it in his face, and he was, but yet happy he was there. They were there.
Why would you call your own executioners, thinking that they're going to come and then say, "Hey, I'm over here"?
I don't even want to go down right now, because I'll tell you, I could go right down that rabbit hole with you, and I'll be neglecting them, and I don't want to neglect.
What did you guys? Of course not. Lastly, okay, so so what was the last thing you heard about it? Like, what's I know there's probably going to be a celebration of life next month, but what was the last thing that you ended up with the cops? Like, what was the last interaction?
We went to the detective. Well, actually, when we saw the video, when we were at the police,
and they showed you the video.
Showing us the video. That was the last time we talked to them. After that, we haven't said anything. I mean, we were fucking motherfucking them all day, the whole thing inside the park lot. Then we started calling the media, because now we knew something, and we told them, boom, boom, we're gonna have a press conference at 4, boom. Because you've seen what they show. They didn't even show the whole thing. So
and the guy
it'll be good, yeah.
So we're gonna show the cop press conference. But,
yeah, let's do that, and we can dissect it. But let me let you guys go.
Yeah,
like I said, I got the family
Appreciate
here,
you, bro.
And we'll do it another time. I want to get it out. So
let's do
sooner the better. Sooner the better. Okay.
Next Friday. Make some time.
Whatever you guys want to do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right.
Later, bro.
All right, buddy. Love you.
Love you too.
Yeah, I got a question. Has anybody heard the 911 tape yet? Have they released that?
No.
I looked for that. I did not find it.
Because just to sort of follow up on what Steve was saying about changing the narrative, like, yeah, the story does seem to have changed a few times. And last I heard, first it was neighbors called reporting gunshots. Then it was Brandon called reporting gunshots.
Right.
I'm sort of preparing myself for the fact that he never reported gunshots, and they've just been putting that out there to justify what this guy did, to sort of, say that he was in a highly dangerous situation and his actions were understandable.
Right, and that's what, of course, they said that he died at UMC, but he
Right, and
at the hospital. At the hospital, he died in the house.
Obviously wasn't the case.
In the house of his head. I mean, it was an execution. It was
or the number of times I saw him referred to as the suspect.
Right. No, in the morning. So in the morning, I woke up, getting ready. The dogs, the thing, everything in the morning, and I looked over at the news, and it said more about the knife wielding suspect. Like the knife wielding, it was referring to Brandon, the guy who lives in the house.
I saw that story too. I saw that story too, and didn't know anything. Didn't know it was him. I didn't find out till a day later when you called me.
Boiling that day, and then I didn't have the balls to call you. I didn't have the balls to call Mark because I had I had a lot of really hard conversations on Tuesday and Wednesday. They were bad. And like, sit down. I have something to tell you about. Excuse me. I don't even know if all our roommates in Providence and those guys like Nick and Travis. Like, I know I have Travis on like Facebook and shit, but like, we were all friends. We all lived with each other. Like, these people know. There's a trail of people that he's like influenced, and none of them think that he's bad. Like none of them thinks they deserve this.
Man, I'm in this house because of him. He, we went on a long journey, man. He was my real estate agent, spent a long time, a lot of disappointments. And when he found this place, I didn't even want to look at it because I thought it was out of my price range. And he said, no, we got to go see it. Don't worry about the price. It's got everything you're looking for, and I'm going to make this happen for you. And I'll be damned, that guy, he got them to come way down, way down more than I thought was possible. And here I am,
And Steve was probably your broker, right? Like Steve was probably in there as well. Like, cause he works with Steve at, alongside Steve, or worked alongside Steve. So this is all the depth of it. Yeah,
exactly. Brandon has had a huge impact on my life. First home I've ever owned, in large part thanks to him and getting me through that whole long, scary process.
He would talk to you like a human being, like, doesn't matter. Hey, wait, we'll get it done.
And it was so great just having a friend, because that's a scary thing, especially when you've never done it before. So just being able to have someone that was already my friend be there and walk me through that was just, I don't know, very lucky. I'm just lucky to have known him. Forget the house stuff. I'm lucky to have just known him as a friend, as a buddy, just talking movies, comic books, sports.
No one knew more about
everything.
You're equal in movies and movie lines and like just correct you like a savant. He'd correct you. No, it's like, listen, man.
I can hear his voice. And the dumb thought that keeps sort of going through my head is like, it had been a while. I hadn't talked to Brandon in a little while. And I keep thinking, man, I never got to talk to him about Deadpool and Wolverine.
I know.
Thinking, Dave, like I have an idea that I know what he would have thought of it, but I don't really know, right? Because I'm never going to be able to talk to him about that, and that's it's just
unfortunate.
Keep going
because because Alexander Bookman decided to go a little bit too much on the roids that day.
How much do you want to bet Officer Bookman has never read a book in his life? At least not one without pictures.
I would have to agree with that. So I looked at so we were looking at Microsoft Copilot, and what really got me today was just now he already had information. So on November 12th, 2020, this is really hard to read because it's like your friend. It's like a movie. I keep saying that. I'm dissociated from reality right now. 43-year-old real estate agent called the police report a home invasion at his residence in Las Vegas, the house that I've spent so much fucking time in, and so has Scott. Officer Alexander Bookman arrived. They found Durham struggling with an intruder, Alejandra Boudreaux, with a knife. Despite pleas to drop the weapon, Officer Bookman shot Durham, who later died at the scene. He probably immediately died at the scene, you pig. Boudreaux has been charged with multiple offenses, including home invasion and child abuse. Durham's family is seeking justice, questioning the police response, and calling the incident a preventable tragedy. No shit. What makes you think that it's a preventable tragedy? Sorry, it's been a long week.
It was also mentioned earlier that she has been charged with not homicide, but she's been charged with something to do with his death, specifically
Manslaughter.
With
Let me see if
something to that effect.
What are the charges?
I saw that on the news earlier. In that, not that she obviously had nothing to do with it. She did, but
reckless actions resulting in death.
Okay,
is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah,
yeah.
I just pulled it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, home invasion with a deadly weapon, assault with deadly weapon, domestic violence, child abuse and neglect, reckless actions resulting in death. She has been booked into the Clark County Detention Center, and the case is under investigation by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department's Critical Incident Review Team. Does this cover what you were looking for? Not even close. We're gonna look. What was this, Sam? Where'd she go?
She stepped out for just a minute.
Oh, quick. So I'm sorry.
Alexander Bookman, though, is on paid administrative leave.
Paid. Can you imagine this now?
Leave.
Yeah. I'm glad you're getting a paycheck
with an ongoing investigation. And so I guess only time will tell what happens to him. But
I think we can get into a back and forth about what we think this deserves. But obviously tonight, I would. I mean, anything the law is afforded to him, just throw the book at him. Like, there was no way to do what you wanted him to do, and that goes a long way. There's no way for you to just like drop the knife, and then half a second later you shoot him in the
half
head.
a second later, and that was the time frame.
Well, he wasn't even holding the knife.
It wasn't.
You couldn't drop it if you wanted to.
Exactly. He was
the ridiculous part.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, it's all ridiculous, but that's one of the ridiculous parts, I guess.
It's ridiculous.
Well, and like you guys were talking about the narrative of change, I heard so many times that the officer repeatedly told him to drop the knife and then open. And that was again that first day, and that was garbage.
The first day. That's right.
And that was and it's I'm not excited about it. I need to see what else comes out. I need to hear that 911.
Well, I mean, this is just now.
I need to know.
Vendetta. I need to know.
The family deserves to know. And
justice, absolutely, 1,000% justice. Like, what happened? Like, there's an America where you can protect your home. Yeah, like this is not. Like everybody talks about it all the time. One motherfucker.
You just said you were talking about that last week too, or the week before.
We talk about it every a facet of this every week. Home and cops having way too much power to just go into your house if they hear something they don't like, and then just like go down the fucking hallway. And then what if that's your wife? What if that's your whatever? Like you just killed her husband? Like what is this? What law allows you to come in my house and protect me in that way? I don't want that kind of protection. Thank you very much. I'd rather, if that's the case, I'll never call you again. I'll take care of my own shit. But everybody in this fucking country loves to say, well, I can't wait till he steps in my house. I'll fucking blow him away as soon as, okay, cool. And then we celebrate that. And then they high five each other about blowing away. This guy does not have a gun and has a knife and he's trying to protect himself. And a knife is a hand-to-hand combat thing. Like that's also a preventative measure. What's the difference? Would you have killed the guy with a gun in his hand?
Well,
why? Because he could shoot you back?
I'm not even sure that it was his. I mean, again, he didn't have the knife in his hand.
He couldn't have done it anyway.
He was holding an arm of somebody that did have the knife.
The victim, I mean. Yes.
You know what I mean? So.
Well, and what kills me about the manslaughter, pardon the vernacular there, is that in Nevada, there is a felony murder rule. If somebody dies while you're committing a felony, you can get first-degree murder. So why not? I mean, I know it wasn't the intruders, but had they not been there, it would have never happened. He also, I mean,
Scott,
the
sorry.
officer should be, fired. But
I mean, at the
uh,
very least,
but I also think that Boudreaux should get felony or first degree murder instead of manslaughter.
I also don't want to dilute what it means to do murder. So I get it. Even though my best friend just got fucking murdered by the cops.
Also important is that is there a second person out there, or is that more narrative bullshit? Like, what's
I was going to ask that too.
I don't know. There was apparently a couple people going around the house smashing.
Yeah.
Which Steve
again-
will tell you. Steve will tell you that when he got there, because Steve was there that night. He saw the body bag. Like he saw everything, and so he I spoke to him. That later that morning is when Dane, his brother, called me and said, "Dude, you might want to sit down." And he goes, so he I'm sorry. Fuck yeah. So he's gonna Steve's gonna go into the body bag full fiasco and like what it looked like there, but he was absolutely dead in his house, and that was a foregone conclusion. And then I had to tell Scott. I had to give Scott the news, and that and I don't know how did I do giving you the news that our friend
you did
did.
great, man. You did great. There's no good way to deal with any of this. Like, you did the best that you could. And I'm glad I got to hear it from you rather than seeing it on the news and having
If I
to call him.
would have waited, if I would have waited a little longer, you might have started seeing on the news. So yeah, I mean, fuck. There's a time limit on that shit. You don't even think about it. Like, I pussied out on calling Mark because I was like, I couldn't do it again. I couldn't do it again that day. And so one more person to fucking sit down, dude. These people are pissed. People are fucking pissed. They're mad.
You should be.
I'm really angry.
I think we all are.
There's part of me. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adrian.
No, I was gonna say if you wanted to play. If we're done talking, we can play. I'll look away, but you can play they can play it on YouTube. We can play it. So, I would play it. I would play it not for my sake, just for the sake of everyone to know what happened and like record here.
Right.
What are they gonna do? Ban it? So, I think it's a good idea. I don't know if everybody just wants to walk away for a minute, but like, trigger warning.
Yeah, I've probably seen it way too many times at this point. But feel free. I'll just sort of divert my eyes and maybe turn the volume down.
Yeah. I think we should just even if everyone's uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
I think.
But it's important. It's important for
people
to
do it.
Yes. Because until you actually see it, you might believe the bullshit, right?
Right.
I needed to see it for my own eyes. I never believed that Brandon could have done anything that would have justified that. But until I actually saw it, there was always going to be that tiny little seed of doubt, right?
Of course.
It was important for me to see it, but I don't think I need to see it ever again.
Ever. I mean, I was told by my wife that I should, if you love me, don't watch this again. Like, don't even look over. The horror in her eyes when she saw that. We all know this person that's deeply seated in our lives that just like lives amongst us. That taught me how to gamble. That taught me how to like sports bet and like how to watch a game in that context. Like, so much information has passed between this person and I. For this fucking guy to blow his brains out for like a fucking pig, because he just decided that he didn't want to, administer any question or mental health strategies or any human decency, basic decorum at all. You've decided to just forego all of those things and kill him.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
I don't get it. It's senseless.
Allie said it fucked her up. She goes, fucked me up.
Fucked her up hard, yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know about you, but I couldn't sleep at all last night. After I was just I didn't even want to turn the lights off. It was, I don't know, maybe I got an hour of sleep, but that's about it. So Allie, I'm sure I'm sure you're dealing with the same.
I was grief stricken differently than last. So last night I woke up between 1:30 and 5 a.m. and there's nothing I could do. I had to smoke 2 consecutive joints. I couldn't and I was still. So that happened because of a nightmare, and all I saw was this hallway, the hallway. And all I saw was that perspective, right? And then it was a different kind of grief. It was like a somber grief, but like one of like more, I don't know, more. It was more peaceful, the grief. But then I saw how it happened, and there's no peace there. That is a war move. It's like a something a Neanderthal does, something like an animal would do just to like end some like another thing to eat it, or like, you know what I mean? It's not like no reverence for human life. And that, it's hard to take when it's your friend or anybody that you love.
That it is. Are you sure you want me to play it?
That's what I was asking.
Hold on one second.
Do you
Hold on.
actually have it, or do you
Hold on
not?
one second. Yeah, she has it. Yeah, I
Okay,
haven't
well,
watched this. So I'll probably close out for a moment. I don't want to. I understand the importance to no.
And
yeah.
we should.
Thank you, Danielle.
Normally, I'm
Appreciate it.
not for trigger warnings at all, but in this case, I am. If
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm gonna take a bathroom break as well. I'll be back
Okay.
in a few, guys.
so, for anybody who doesn't, and don't get me wrong, the exact you're going to play the one. It'll be parts of it'll be blurred out.
This
Yeah.
is
But
hey.
you'll be able to know exactly.
They're showing it.
Be able to
They're
see.
showing it.
So
I heard it's all over Facebook. It's all over Instagram. It's
It
everywhere.
is, but normally I don't give trigger warnings. But if you don't want to see this, come back in 1 minute. And
Make sure it's full screen and all that.
then we can discuss. But
Yeah, let me
Sorry, Sam, that you have a heavy job.
no, you're fine.
This has to happen because if not, we're just talking about it.
Yeah. I'll make it a full screen in a second.
Thank you, honey.
Yep. I'll share it and make it full.
Dave, thanks for backing me up, bro.
dude, I'm here for you.
Appreciate you.
All right. Are we ready?
100%. He's such a good dude.
AC, you good
Yep.
for me to play?
Go.
Wearing a black sweatshirt, dark black pants.
Hey, they said they made entry. We got to go in there.
Yeah, we have to do it. Hey, only we have an open window for we can make entries.
Kick it.
Metro Police! Metro Police! Metro Police! Metro Police! Hey, drop the knife! Drop the knife!
I will stop sharing.
Well, it's the first time you've seen that.
Yeah.
So as you could see in this, as somebody started to talk, but I think that was the police released that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that gets me about that is he dropped the knife. You can hear him calling them back there, yelling for them back there. At least that's what it sounded like for me. Number one, let me say I've never done the job that a police officer does. I couldn't even imagine being in that situation. However, for him to say drop the knife and then less than a second later,
I mean, he had no time to even
fire a
react.
shot.
Nobody had time to react other than the fucking cop.
No, but the cop wasn't in danger.
No.
In fact, the person that out of all that was in danger was the one holding the other person against the wall and the one that ended up losing his life. And that's just.
Yeah. It's a lot.
You okay?
No.
AC, you did warn Sam not to watch that.
And
She just watched that for the first time. So.
It changes you, honey. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I
It's
told
okay.
you not to do it.
No, I know it's fine.
Because when you know that it's when some guy on the screen, you're empathetic. But this is like, I mean, you could have right there at the airport where I got you guys when you came. It was right down there. It's right, Wine River just down there.
Yep.
right by Sunset Park.
Yeah.
You could have. He's just, it's like there are people you meet that's something to touch you no matter what, and you say, well, damn, that's a good person,
He is the
Doesn't
best. I feel so
He was good. And
so
it's
terrible for his family and for you and for everyone that he touched their lives. I feel so horrible.
so bad. So upset. I'm so angry. I don't want to feel this overwhelming hostility. Oh my God.
I said at the beginning of the show, you guys.
I opened up a fucking page. I opened up a fucking page.
I don't.
Got to be careful with that.
Fuck you.
Sorry, Ellie.
What?
She
What
said
happened?
so sad all over again.
You have to do this.
I know.
This has to happen.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, you guys do true crime, and we talk about things that happen and you see on Netflix, and then things, and those, I know they all happen to real people, and they were forever ago or whenever they happened. And I know all that stuff that you guys talk about, they happen to real people, but it all, as you guys are watching it and I'm watching it, it all seems like it could be a movie, or it could be, you know what I mean? And that's, I guess, how we can talk about things like that. And this is so different. Oh, there you go. There's the page. And that is literally what I zoomed into, that what I showed the picture of his hands on the other person's hand that was holding the knife. So there he is right there trying to not get stabbed by someone holding a knife.
You have to do this. What happened? Why am I double?
I don't know. Oh, we're on double. Oh, somebody's sound is up. So we're feeding back through someone's sound.
Scott.
Sorry.
Your sound up?
Okay, buddy.
There we go.
All good, but yeah. So as I try not to focus in on this, he was 100% fine. There was a knife, and this first said multiple knives. It went from guns to multiple knives to one knife that the assailant had. Okay. And the thing says Las Vegas officer charged in fatal shooting during response to home invasion. Suspect charged. That changed very quickly from a crazy guy living on Wine River holding brandishing a fucking knife. That changed dramatically. And I'm not sure where the cops press conference is. You saw that, Scott?
Yeah, what I was just going to say was that there did show a picture of a second knife. I remember they showed pictures of two different knives, like evidence, right? Mm-hmm. But watching this video, there's clearly just one
knife.
Where did the second one come from?
Get off me. These are underwear. These are fucking boxers, man. I've been down that hallway 100 times. I couldn't get it out of my fucking head.
I mean, just by his attire, it is clear that he is not the assailant.
Who's at home?
Right.
A lot of people online have pointed out that in the video that I just didn't watch, at the beginning of it, you can hear on the police radio them giving the description of the intruder and saying hoodie, black pants. So Bookman should have known going into the house who the intruder was. He was told. It was on literally there in the video.
Yeah. Sorry.
There's a lot of time invested. A lot of time invested in us, in our relationship. A lot of firsts, A lot of times, he told me so much about his life, and when we were just children. And then we had so many different lives too. Like, we got chef life, and then when he came to Florida, he came to Miami to visit a bunch of times. His wife sent him down. Hey, he's feeling kind of glum. You want to take him for the weekend? And I was like, yeah. You drive down and we'd hang out and party and go see Raekwon, or I think we went to go see. I think we saw. Downtown Miami. Absolutely. We went to that fucking IO, see, and he had a great time. And that was years before I got to Vegas, and I talked to him even more. He was my Xbox buddy. Like, he used to tell me, I wouldn't rather play it with nobody else, dude. We got to go back to back, And he'd say, like, you know, we take on like the Division 2, the Division 1, and the Division 2. Like we just something we can do 2 people and watch each other's backs, and we do that kind of fucking role play. It was awesome. It was fucking awesome. Like right up until like a couple weeks ago, maybe I don't know what the fuck is going on. Sorry, I'm rambling.
It's okay.
Good. What gets me is, and what got me, and I know you know, his other family members, AC and Scott, maybe, I don't know, but and Scott, nice to meet you. I'm Dave. But seeing his imagining, you know, his daughter was right in that house when that happened, and
Right behind the office, right behind Alexander Bookman,
and what she had to go through that night, and what she's going to have to go through for the rest of her life. His sister on television talking about it, his mother saying she'll never see her son again. It's just, and AC, it's one of your best friends in the world. I mean, if that happened to one of my,
I'll never watch football.
I just can't imagine it.
Never watch football with Brandon again. I just kept saying that the other night. I'll never watch. He'd say, his joke to me was he'd always assume like, of course, you know, the Vikings are gonna win, you know, and he'd be like, oh, you don't think that? Like surprised, like what? Like, aren't you always going for the purple? You know, like you're always purple. Purple it up, man. If you don't, you gotta purple it. Yeah. He gave me life, like he gave me energy. You know, he was like he said things that like, I don't know, he had a way of saying things. And for people that say about me, I'm like, that's a guy that really had to say it, you know? I don't know. He's one in a million is what I'm saying. He was like, right, Scott? There's like nobody fucking else like that I've never met.
The Vikings are going to win it all this year for him.
I haven't watched
a sign.
I've watched like
sign that he's controlling the NFL from up there.
I wouldn't even be sad about it.
Okay, let's move down here. So
what website is that?
This is called a Hoodline, and that came from Microsoft Copilot. So
just curious. I'm really looking for this or hoping for this story to sort of jump from just the local places.
It will.
National.
I know it will. And honestly, like we hashtag this correctly. Like at least it has this has like a voice, you know, to at least a record, you know. And I'll go to Opus Clip and make some quick shorts because we got to put this up. Like it's got to reach people. So and let's say the trial. I would imagine there's something like coming. Like you can't just get fired for this. You know, he's not even fired yet. Like what investigation do you have to do? You know, like how many more questions would you have to ask him, and which way for you to make sense of the fact that he killed a man in cold blood?
Yeah, that's the most frustrating part of this when that cop gets up there, the spokesman guy, and he shows the video. We just seen clearly what happens. And they're asking him, you know, why did he do this? What was he thinking? Oh, well, it's still very early. It's only been 3 days. And like as if they haven't been talking to him this whole 3 days saying, dude, what the fuck were you doing? You know, exactly. Like that wasn't the conversation 2 minutes afterwards. It's just they talk down to us like we're children, like we're idiots.
Of course.
After we've just seen with our own eyes what happened. It's clear to everybody. You don't even need to ask the questions.
Yeah, you might as well say, like, hey, you know what this is? We have to go back. We have to talk about it to see how we can all the old boys club can shoot us under the rug. You know
how they can spin it to where he wasn't in the wrong.
Right. He felt afraid for his life or whatever.
But did he?
Boudreaux, not at all. He was 8 feet away. What the fuck could he do with a knife? Throw it at him? If a guy can throw a fucking knife at you that he's trying to get away from another person that actually has the knife, and you're afraid of him, like who is he, fucking Batman? Like what is happening here? You think you have a gun, guy? You have a Glock 17.
Well, and it's not like he had it in his hand poised to. He wouldn't have, but it's, if somebody walks in and they've got it, I'm going to fucking get you. I mean, They do say, I think you can go up to 6 feet when you take like your concealed carry. It's like a 6 feet rule. So within that distance, then it's, force equals force. But at this point, he wasn't even wielding it. He was preventing the knife from killing himself. And in walks this fucking officer and he fucking shoots him. It's stupid.
I'm afraid to open this. Okay.
Sorry, that wasn't very eloquent, but
No. That was perfect. That was perfect. Oh, I think this did it automatically. Good thing it stopped me. I hit this from.
That's the guy I was talking about, though. That spokesman guy. You just
Right.
yeah.
second.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could get it without.
Okay.
Can't stand the sight of that guy.
Okay.
Can you
Well, we have to play
scroll
this.
past?
You can scroll.
Hey, can you guys?
Yeah, is this like the 15-minute one? Something like that. I watched.
11 minutes.
Okay, I watched this one earlier. It does include the video towards the beginning.
Towards the beginning.
Well, yeah, I don't know exactly where, but
Good afternoon. I'm Assistant Sheriff Dory Korn at the Las Vegas Metro.
you can kind of skip it. He
Can you hear it? Can you hear
Yeah.
me saying?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Yeah.
Yes. Make your
Okay.
screen full
Baltimore
screen.
Police Department. I'm here today to provide additional details on an officer-involved shooting that occurred this past Tuesday, November 12th, 2024. It's important to note that we're still very early into the investigative process, and the details we are providing today are
May
based on
change.
the latest information we have as of today. More
As we need
information will
them.
be available as we continue the investigation. This is the 13th officer-involved shooting this year and the 8th fatal officer-involved shooting of the year. At the same time in 2023, we had 6 officer-involved shootings, 2 of which were fatal and 4 of which were non-fatal. This recent event was reported as an assault or battery with a gun call in a residential neighborhood located in the 6900 block of Wine River Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89119. The call took place at approximately 12:40 a.m. You can see the scene to my left. The officer involved in this incident is Alexander Bookman. He is 26 years old and has been with the LVMPD since 2021. Officer Bookman was armed with a Glock 17 9mm, equipped with a tactical light and optic. The investigation revealed he fired 6 rounds. Officer Bookman is assigned to the Tourist Safety Division, South Central Area Command. The 2 individuals involved in the officer-involved shooting are identified as Brandon Durham. He was a 43-year-old black male adult, 6 feet tall, weighing 185 pounds. The second individual involved in the officer-involved shooting is Alejandra Boudreaux. She's a 31-year-old black female adult, 5'9", 220 pounds. There were 2 knives involved in this incident. You can see a picture of the knives to my left. The following are Alejandra's charges: 1 count of home invasion with a deadly weapon, 1 count of assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence, 1 count of child abuse, neglect, or endangerment, and 1 count of performance of act in willful or wanton disregard of safety of persons resulting in death. The detail of the officer-involved shooting are as follows. On November 12th, 2024 at 12:40 a.m., LVMPD received a report of 2 subjects shooting into a residence located in the 6900 block of Wine River Drive. The person reporting the shooting was identified as Brandon Durham. Durham told the call taker that the subjects were attempting to enter his residence and that he was inside his residence with his 15-year-old daughter. Durham then stated that the suspects had entered his home through both the front and back doors of his residence and that Durham would be locking himself in the bathroom. Officer Bookman, along with 2 other patrol officers, arrived. Immediately upon arrival, the officers noticed that there was damage to multiple vehicles in the driveway. They also noticed that there was damage to windows of the house. And they also heard screaming and banging from inside the house. Officer Bookman kicked open the front door and was the first officer to make entry. While inside, officers continued to hear screaming and banging. They immediately directed their search towards an L-shaped hallway. As officers turned the corner in the hallway, they observed Durham and Alejandra entangled in a physical confrontation. They were at the threshold of a bedroom. Both individuals appear to be struggling over a knife in the doorway. Officers Bookman issued multiple commands to drop the knife.
not true.
And then they discharged his firearm. Then he discharged his firearm, striking Durham and causing him and Alejandra to fall to the ground. Officers took Alejandra into custody and they attempted life-saving measures for Durham. Unfortunately, despite those efforts, Durham was pronounced deceased at scene.
Also didn't mention the other 5
We're gonna go ahead
shots
and
you
play
put
the
into him.
body-worn camera video of the incident now.
Okay,
You can
don't
stop
have
it
to
now.
do
No
that.
way.
Also,
Yeah.
where did all the
Yeah.
UFC,
I'm on my
taking
scale,
UFC
20 to
Stop.
30,
head there?
20 to 30,
Hang on.
10 medium build.
Hang on.
Wearing a black sweatshirt and dark colored pants.
We just watched this. Want to stop this?
27 seconds from that. So you see what we just showed you before. 27 seconds, 6 shots.
Right.
Guns drawn at the moment. He can make pretty good decisions because he figured out probable cause was a thing right away, right? Because you need a warrant to come in your fucking house, right? So when you need a fucking warrant to come in the house, the only thing that can save you is probable cause. Fine. Okay. Now you hear the tussle. Okay. There might be some assistance that needs to be administered. Assistance. Not a fucking, you're not clearing Abu Ghraib. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
what the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you have to go so fucking extreme? What do you think people are going to do to you? You are already in a place of power. People are afraid of you. You're the aggressor. You have the guns. And you're going to come and exterminate people directly into their home, into their bedroom? How much more leeway can we possibly give the fucking state government or the metropolitan government, whatever the fuck? Law enforcement. How much more infringement? Is this not how is that not against everything that it is to be an American, the Constitution even? You're assisting. Why are you militarized? Why do you need a tank? Why do you need a fucking tank? Do you need $10 million for the tank so you can roll it down the street? Or do you need fucking more health care people? Maybe somebody who can be a de-escalator, or maybe that. You don't want, you think that's being a pussy? Shoot him in the leg. Shoot him in the fucking leg. How about a warning shot?
How about a taser?
Whatever, other than shoot my friend in the head. Anything other than that would have been acceptable, I think. You give no chances. There are no chances to do what you... It's like the motherfuckers that tell you freeze and get on the ground at the same time. Which one is it? By the time you figure it out, I shot you because you didn't do both things at once. How the fuck do you want me to do that?
That's the worst part of all of this, right? Is that there's literally no way you can even give this guy benefit of the doubt or see, nobody lunged towards him. Like, the worst part of this is that it literally makes no sense. There's no reason at all you can think of that he would do what he did instead of doing, a dozen other things.
Anything else.
Anything else.
That could have been, even if it was your third resort, death was your third resort after going, what's going on here? Can it, I don't know. What did the other cop do? Just go, oh, I bet the other cop was like, oh, fuck. What did you just do? Did you just drop the fucking homeowner? Not to mention everything else we've talked about so far, who he is. Not just a fucking homeowner. He's not just a fucking number, a taxpayer. Like, are you kidding me?
The thing that gets me too is when he was just talking. Now the body cam footage is released, and the guy who was just talking literally told us, and then he's going to show that this is not the case, but he literally told us that the cop gave multiple warnings to put the knife down. When you say something like that, it makes it seem like he gave him a warning and then told him again and then told him again. And then somebody decided not to do that, is what it makes it sound like when he describes it that way. Yet the actual footage and the actual situation is he says it one time and a half a second later, before anybody can respond or do anything else, is a headshot that killed.
At the moment of saying, hey, put that, Pam. Drop
Barely
that.
finished his sentence.
Drop that knife, Pam.
Mm-hmm.
Yet when they're talking about it and describing it, they describe it as multiple warning. Bullshit, multiple warnings. He said it one time as he was pulling the trigger.
As he was pulling the trigger is the key thing here. And he was 8 feet away. He felt in no way endangered by the homeowner protecting himself from a knife he didn't have.
Had he taken a split second to assess the actual fucking situation, he would have seen what was actually fucking going on. He took no seconds to do that. He said it, and that was it.
Yet the guy who called you in the first place, and then when he hears you entering the home, the guy calling you down the hallway, asking for help.
Allie says,
infuriated.
And what did Bella do?
That poor girl.
He absolutely received the description of the intruder. he ignored it, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, all right, it's time to shoot somebody.
I sent this video to my sister. Just
Barbara?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to take Barbara is definitely going to find out about this. So
So I sent it to her. She didn't watch it until after we've started right now. She just sent me a message over my phone saying, "Oh my God." I didn't read the whole message, and obviously I haven't talked to her about it, but she seems like she's distraught, like
disgusted
how disgusted and how awful.
And this
So
is the
I'm-
just
no quoting. Don't go off the record. But
right, of course.
she is a district attorney, correct, in the state of New Mexico.
The 13th Judicial
Okay,
District.
we're going to get into very good specifics. We're just going to say we're not going to give her full name.
She's been on the show for fuck's sakes.
Fine. Anyway, I haven't talked to her about it to get her thoughts about the specifics of what happened there. But I did just get a text from her. So
yes, okay. Well, and she is specializes in I mean, she sees this all the time. So I really want to get her take. I mean, it's way out of her jurisdiction, so I don't know if she can talk about it. I'm sure she can. Because of that. If not, maybe she can until it, leaves trial.
well, before we go into it, I just want to we got to ask her.
Oh yeah, we can't talk.
We got to ask her first.
Can't just
Yeah.
involve her. So we take that seriously because we want to talk to her again. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that I'm in a lot of complex pain, and it was different after I found out the context of it. My brother called me, and he was mortified, and he's military guy, pro cop, wants to be a firefighter, like he's he would be in a position to lean towards the cops, if so, right? And he was absolutely mortified. He was like, if that, he even told me before the body cam footage came out, he was so mortified that about how it happened, just a description that he already had put it together that like it's not something that could be possible, it's not legal. Can't do that. And it happened, and like after that the footage is out, it feels like national news. Like it feels like something people would be really, really upset about, because if you can see yourself as a homeowner in Brandon's shoes, and I implore everyone to do that, it'll change the way you protect your home.
Yeah.
Right? Like, makes me want to buy a gun tonight. Like, I want to get a gun badly, so I'm not mistaken for someone with a knife or two knives, right? Whatever they want to say. I have to shoot them as soon as they walk in my house, so there's no mistake.
Yeah, I actually texted that same exact thing to my sister. I said, you know what? I'm seriously considering buying a gun for the first time in my life because I will never call the police for help. So it's time to learn how to take care of myself.
I'm literally traumatized. Our best friend died, Scott, because he called the cops. Imagine.
I mean, our whole lives were brought up to think, and we're told the police are there to help us in our times of need. If our home is being invaded, if you name it, if somebody carjacks you, whatever it may be, in whatever situation you're in danger, we are led to believe that they are there to protect us. And that is literally the opposite of what just happened. And I can see, I mean, I would think twice, I'm going to think twice about, is this something that I want to do? Do I need them to be involved, or can I handle it on my own? I'll call them after the fact. Hey, they were coming in my house. I defended myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, come clean it up.
Yeah.
I don't think, the thing is, like, people, I don't know how people anywhere could justify that. Like, I'll step into like the NRA issues for a moment, and I'll say to myself, okay, I'm a gun guy and a guy. Fine, I love the way he kicked the door open and went in like it's Afghanistan, and he turned the corner perfectly, and then he looked, and then he gave a command and shot it. He couldn't. How can you?
He did not give the
Even if you
command
love
correctly.
guns, even if you love guns, and you're like, even if that's your shit, and you're a so-called bootlicker, right? And you're like, I don't care. The police can do no wrong. If you think like, how could that even be a question? With that, how can they boot like that? How can they, right?
Right.
You can't do that, right? Like, is there a way to spin this?
No.
I can't think. I'm serious. Like, pretend I'm not Brandon's friend for a moment. Like, I can't think of it.
There needs to be answers, and honestly, Brandon deserves for this to go national and more. His family deserves answers, and we again, why don't
I mean, your thought process there, AC. If this was a story that we had just uncovered for this show, and we know none of the players in it, we would have seen the body cam footage and gone, "Fuck that! He should have never been shot." So taking out that we know him, had we seen this as
and we know how amazing of a dude he is,
right, exactly.
and
Taking out
father.
all of the things, if we had just happened upon, say this happened in Florida or Texas or here in Nebraska or whatever, and we'd have no idea who it is, we would still be saying the same thing. This is fucked up. It's even more fucked up that he was such an amazing man, an amazing friend, that he was not in the wrong. All he did,
Well, he did the right thing.
all he
called
did
the
was
police.
it was call the police.
And protect his family and his daughter
Yes.
from like getting whatever. Like, if it was, I haven't brought race into this once, and I won't. But I'm just saying the people that are going to protect their home normally like that with a gun, like a fucking, I don't know, a shotgun or whatever the fuck people like to, there are people who have fantasies about, like, I wish a motherfucker would come in my door.
Yeah.
That way I could kill him. And so I can prove that happens. And I'm good because I have the gun, and that proves, the circle of like proof, the validation circle. And then that happens. But this,
and in that
happen.
instance, people applaud them because you stood your ground.
That's what I'm saying.
You defended your home.
And then we get to more guns, more ammo, more people get great. But what happens here? So are you telling me that I need a gun to just appear? Like, is it all optics? You know what I mean? Like, how can you prevent that? You can't prevent that. That's somebody wanting to come in and kill someone, and not even wanting to ask a question and just going and just doing it because they decided that.
That cop was I wish somebody would type of a cop, I believe. And I know that's
he did in somebody's
harshly
house.
Judging, but he came in there ready to fucking shoot. I mean, he knew today was the day I get to shoot and kill somebody, and he was probably hard over it. And I don't mean to be like that, but I do. It's fucking bullshit.
It's really raw right now, dude. It's really raw. And if it was a mistake, more of a mistake,
then own it.
If it was more of a mistake, and it looked like more of a mistake, so it's impossible for that to be a mistake. It just isn't.
Well, you're
because
right.
the mistake was made. The mistake itself was the act, and it's possible to like you can say you're sorry for it, but and you can say it's a mistake, but not when you came in like this and like with a lot of impulse and like turning corners and like that looked like it was full of intent. Like, somebody's gonna go down here. This has to end, and I have to somehow end it.
Well, he probably thought, I'm gonna fucking be the hero. I'm gonna go in and fucking shoot this perp. And
the perp and the boxers.
Right.
Yep. Like, that's the guy who crawled in the window, which all the windows are broken.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I don't blame the cop for assessing that if they did. All the windows are broken. Both cars as well. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It was a scene. It was a scene of violence already. Fine. That prompts you to go inside. Cool.
Yeah, but it prompts you to go in. One would,
a
sane person would say, it prompts me to go inside to save the person who's in there who called.
Kick in the door. Probable cause, right? King, probable cause. Kick in the door. Wouldn't you stop and say, hello? Right? Like, this is not my house. Hello. Right? Like,
right.
Is anybody
homeowner,
here?
Where are you?
Yeah. And he goes, here. I'm here. Like he said.
Yeah.
I'm over here. Come execute me here. So I'd like to hear what Alexander Bookman has to say about, like, he just thought the perp was the taller guy, the guy with no clothes, or the guy with, or the one with the hoodie.
I mean, if he thought it was the one in the hoodie, he has really bad aim.
How about asking when you get there? How about asking? I know it sounds elementary, but like, identify yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You could have said, Brandon Durham, I own this house. Like, would someone have maybe he was smart enough to do something like that. You know what I mean? Like he would do. He understands things like this. He does, and he would be like, man, like we would do hypotheticals all the time. And he would be like, he understands it deeply. He would be like, I'll just tell him, hey, it's me. It's Big Dog. Don't shoot me. Like something like that. But like, it's surreal to think that I have to like see something so graphically, overtly, wantonly horrific and still have to like, I'm sure there's going to be people online that are like, no, he was well in his right. He went inside his house and, you know, like no one can say that this is something that could be like spinnable. Like I can't show you the other side of this. Well, the other side of this is that nothing comes to mind. Maybe it'll surprise me, but some bootlicker out there will be like, oh well, you know, he called out. Don't be in your hallway with a knife. I don't know. I'm talking gibberish.
I'm curious what you guys think the outcome is going to be here. You know, does Bookman actually go to prison? Does he get a slap on the wrist? I mean, I have no doubt Brandon's family is going to get a nice settlement, but I'm curious what his fate is going to be. And he just gets to go live a normal life, and you know, I'm sure he'll never be a cop again. But if he gets to go live his normal life with just some other random job,
are you sure?
And I guess I was going to say that too.
I would hope.
One would hope.
He can't be a cop anymore, but.
The thing is that with the settlement, there's going to be with the settlement comes the promise of not really bringing this up anymore, kind of burying the hatchet. You can have your resentments, but you know, here's the money. We're kind of done. So just by accepting the money,
might be suspended for 6 months and come back. I mean, you don't know. I mean,
that would be hard.
That would be.
I don't even want to speculate because.
Could you imagine that motherfucker pulling us over, Scott?
That would be our fucking luck.
Could you imagine? That would be our fucking luck.
Yeah.
I'll go to jail.
The little Bookman as we roll down the window.
Ugh, I'm gonna be sick right now. All right.
Let's hope he hasn't watched the show.
So let's
hope he does. Honestly, fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
Thanks for shooting my friend.
You're listening.
Well,
I apologize, guys, but I actually am going to have to jump off here. But thank you so much for letting me come on and join you. I really appreciate it. It's been really just therapeutic for me to just be able to talk about this with some other people, and especially people who knew him and cared about him. So thank you. And happy to come on in the future if you're ever talking about him. I have a feeling this is going to be a long haul. I feel like this is going to be going on for, I don't know, a long time from now. There'll be lots to talk about in the future. So
absolutely, you're welcome anytime.
Remember, next week, Steve is going to come and like tell his side of the story and the family side and all that. So,
Scott, thanks. It was nice meeting you.
Oh, thank you guys. AC, I love you, man. Let's actually get together in person soon. All right. I'm sorry.
It's
all good. No, that wasn't me blaming you. He was going to come over earlier. He did. I understand. It happened.
I was going to give him a hug. But
that's all I was saying. Yeah, I need to hug you at some point soon. So we'll make that happen.
We had a lot of close calls. So, all right, buddy. Love you.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
We should probably close it here quick as well.
So, you're right. We should. But in conclusion, we're going to have to be continued, right? We're going to have Steve on. Steve Cowan's going to come back, our friend. Remember the last time we played Xbox together with me, Brandon, and Steve? We were playing PGA. We were playing, we were doing like golf. It was phenomenal. It was so fun. Ragging on each other. And so Steve's going to be on next week to be able to explain like everything about it. I think it's important to do that. And I'm sorry for hijacking the show, Sam.
No, you're fine.
But I didn't think true crime was ever going to touch me like I think we flew too close to the sun, like Icarus. Like true crime touched me too hard right now. So like I have to like, are you kidding me right now? This is like it's a dream. It's a hazy fog of like way too much emotion and like medication. I'm medicated and I'm numb and I can't believe I'm never going to talk to him again.
You didn't hijack the show. You needed this for you. We needed this for justice for Brandon.
Sam, speaking of justice for Brandon, did we have a GoFundMe? Did you see that anywhere?
I have not seen that.
Let me look for it really quick because I should probably like say that, right?
Yeah, we need to.
Brandon. Oh God. GoFundMe.
And thank you guys for letting me sit in for Red Rose. Red Rose is going to be back next week, correct? I
Yes,
believe.
we should.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. So let's show the fuck me.
Once this came up, and
If there, we can share the
Yeah, I'm doing that.
link.
is there one?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Let me share the screen real quick. I found the GoFundMe here. Here.
Anybody watching now can. I did put the link in the comments. Maybe let's put it in the description too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I'll do that.
I'll let you do that. I put it in the comments.
Okay.
Do
Yeah.
you want to put it in
good.
the description so when
Here-
people
Here's
tap
the
in
link.
on this?
Yep, absolutely. Here's the link to the actual page of GoFundMe.com. And I mean, give what you can, because I know that.
I mean, let's be fair. A 43-year-old man does not think he needs life insurance. You know what I mean? There's plenty of things that not only the celebration of life and what you have to do with that, but his daughter.
Needs to go to
Many-
college. You know, she needs to, like.
I mean,
Well,
the
now she's
therapies
displaced.
to help.
She's
with-
displaced to Florida now. She's in Florida with her mom.
Sad.
And then I'm sorry, next month will be the celebration of life. I don't exactly know what day it is yet, but we're going to do it as soon as tomorrow, but because the family's here. But you know, one of the reasons is that, and Steve was right about this, and he'll talk about it, was you know, the party will be a lot of vitriol against Alexander Bookman. You know, we're just going to be talking. It's so fresh and the wound is so gaping that we just be talking about Bookman, and it needs to tamp down a little bit. So let's tamp it all down, and then we'll have, you know, we'll celebrate his life for real. We're still mad, of course, but it's not a gaping salt wound right now.
Yeah.
You know, so his name is Brandon Durham. If anybody's listening on Spotify or anywhere we're doing audio only. 21 days to the service, it says, so a little bit, you know, past
December 6th.
December 6th. So they're like 41% to goal. So if you can find it in your heart to give them anything, these are people I personally know, and we all do, and they deserve it, because that's him right there. He's just smiling. He's just smiling at you. Like, what do you need? How can I help? So, okay. So that's been up long enough. We'll stop it here with his face up here, and so you all can remember, because that guy in that fucking gruesome video you just saw that we couldn't even watch, that's him right there. That's him right there. Yep.
AC, if you need anything ever,
I know it, of course. So
for everybody listening, thanks for listening.
yeah, and then we'll, you know, next week I'll do a little bit harder digging, and then we'll bring out any new headlines from it, and then we'll talk to Steve.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate your support, Dave.
Thanks for letting me be on.
Thank you, man. I couldn't have kept the show together. I was just here to talk, honestly. Yeah. We needed to get this done, so people, no matter what happens from now on, we have records. You know, we have the platform to do it. So, all right,
Brandon,
guys. Thank you, Sam. Thank you.
Brandon deserves answers. His family deserves answers.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure does. All right. Thanks, guys.
Good night, guys.
Have a great one. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
I think this is correct.